air in the helicopter is heavy. Upon reaching the last known location of Mitsuru-san and the others, we immediately saw that the guardrail is broken, and if a car has smashed through it. We looked down the cliff and discovered a black vehicle below, unmistakably Mitsuru-san's limousine. There were no skid marks on the road that indicate braking, and the car's body was seriously damaged. It appeared that it had been going at a very high rate of speed when it hit the barrier. Everyone fell in an instant, and we were all at loss for words. But the driver was the only person in the vehicle, and until he was injured, there was no trace of blood from anyone other than him in the car. We wondered for a moment if the others had been able to leave the vehicle on their own, but if they had, they would have tried to contact us. It also seems odd that they left an unconscious and injured man behind. Furthermore, there were no footprints around the vehicle at all. We did another search for their GPS signals, but there were no signs of their whereabouts. That left us with only one conclusion.
I hate to think about it, but does this mean that they've been captured?
Let us be optimistic and assume that they're still alive. If they were captured, then the enemy values their lives and will do no harm. We do have a chance.
We were the injured driver from the bottom of the cliff back to the road. Kikuno-san requested a vehicle to transport him to the hospital under the Kiroju's family's care. Kikuno-san made this decision since we wouldn't have been able to explain what happened to a normal ambulance. Also, it's possible that the people from public safety would take him away if we report this to the authorities. Kikuno-san asked the personnel who arrived with the transport to try to ask the driver about what happened when he regained consciousness. That will likely be difficult, however. This is similar to what happened last time. The driver would have no memories of the events, much like the people who captured me and transferred me to Inaba last time. However, there's no guarantee that the same had happened to the limousine driver. Not long after, we were back in the helicopter, which takes us to where we are now. To be honest, everyone at a loss about how bad the situation is. Ken tries to change the topic in an attempt to divert us from our worries.
It's amazing that you know how to pilot a helicopter, Kikuno-san. I heard that it's hard to hover in the mountains. Did you train for that?
Only a couple of years ago, but I have taken part in an assault operation involving a helicopter.
You were in an assault with a helicopter? Where?
Just a high school dormitory.
Huh? Oh yeah, I remember that.
I decided to learn how to pilot in the event that if someone attempted the same move, I would be able to respond properly.
My understanding has been renewed. It seems that being a maid is a very serious and very difficult occupation.
Oh, damn! Well, I finally got in touch with Junpei. I don't know why, but he's already at Yasuo Inaba's station, so I told him to stay there. In any case, we should head to Inaba too. We might find some kind of clue there.
Tsuru-san's group had gone missing before sunset, and it's almost midnight now.
Whoever did this must be the same person who kidnapped Labra-san. It's unthinkable anyone else would be able to do that. The question is what he intends to accomplish by kidnapping them.
Ken can flip through the reports on the events of the case up until now, seemingly lost in thought. What is to be gained by kidnapping Mitsuru-san this time? At that moment, heavy static flickered across the video displays within the helicopter. Midnight Channel.
Strong wind, while the weak disappear. Tonight, we will witness the hottest battles in all history. The goddess of victory is waiting to descend upon the ring. P-1 fans, are you ready? Are you ready?
Time to let loose an all-out war!
The contestants in the previous P-1 Grand Prix have returned for another tournament, right on the heels of the last one. These warriors will create another legend here at the world-shattering P-1 Ring!
A big name right now.
These are battles of honor, battles of will. Sparks will fly. Some fight for pride, some fight for glory. Will this be decided by pure muscle, or will a battle of wits determine the outcome? tonight, who will win the title of champion? Who will be crowned with the winner's wreath?
Everest.
Whose tale of glory will resound for generations? All that remains are the dreams of the Warriors. As the Grand Prix plunges into its final chapter, the P-1 Climax is...
Barely getting started!
Okay. You know, if they call Kuma in the game or Vince Bear, it will not as funny. So the translation is very good, you know. And that was really good.
Hey, what was that?
Yeah,
just now?
translating.
Weren't those the Persona users in Inaba? It showed Mitsuru-senpai and the others, too.
I read the case records. If I recall correctly, was that the Midnight Channel that was being broadcast in Inaba? I was on it too, but it wasn't like that last time.
All of us in the helicopter are utterly confused. Who would broadcast something like that and why? The P1 Climax is obviously a continuation of the fighting tournament. Suddenly the monitor switched to another feed.
Yoo-hoo! Have you been well, Labi-chan?
General Teddy? But I thought I already...
General Teddy, in the recent P1 Grand Prix, the ones calling himself General Teddy turned out to be my own shadow. But I saved my shadow and gained the power to use a persona. But if he's on the screen again, then General Teddy ignores my confusion and continues.
There's no way I'd go away so easily. I mean, a P1 without me is like a tuna sandwich without the tuna.
He can hear us? Isn't he that weird Persona user named Teddy?
No, he must be the General Teddy who hosted the fighting tournament last time. The record said he'd been eliminated, though. General Teddy, where did you take Mitsuru-san and the others? If you don't give us a good answer, you're gonna pay!
It's past your bedtime, Cubby. If you're gonna keep giving me lip, I'm not going to explain anything.
Explain?
That's right. I mean, the three of you are very important guest stars in the P1 Climax, after all. So you'll participate, of course, right?
What? What are you after?
If you value the lives of the hostages, you yapping pup, you don't have any choice but to participate.
Huh?
The P1 Climax! It's the end of the world! One-on-one deathmatch that's worthy of the name Climax! And best of all, if you don't win the one-on-one tournament to the finish within the hour, the world will end! No punches pulled this time! I'll make myself clear so that no one misunderstands. This will not be taking place within the TV world. It will, in fact, take place in the reality which you occupy. Enjoy it while you can. Alrighty then! Time to show off how that special stage is going.
Video bit switch is something else. Zero-san, Aiki-san, Akihiko-san, and Fuka-chan.
Was that Mitsuru-senpai?
Sanada-san, Aiga-san, and Fuka-san too!
What will be the fate of our captured queen and her loyal minions? Oh, and this is a no-fly zone. We don't have any room in the parking lot for that thing, so you'd better start walking to the battleground. As a little incentive, Persona! Kintoki Doji! Throw him a tomahawk!
With that last command from General Teddy, the monitor tunes off. After a moment of silence, he couldn't sound shout from the cockpit.
An alarm? No. There really is a missile coming our way. Evasive maneuvers. Brace yourselves.
A missile? Ah!
As soon as Kikuno-san's shout, the helicopter makes a sharp turn and we're all thrown to the side. There's a deafening roar and the helicopter shakes immediately but recovered.
Are we hit?
It barely missed. but there's a good chance that it will still detonate.
It exploded! Wait, it's a firework?
General Teddy. In the moment after the explosion, General Teddy's face was surrounded in the night sky with colorful spark. It even managed to capture his image, stunting us with his tongue sticking out.
He obviously missed on purpose. It was most likely fired from the direction of Inaba.
That is not funny at all! Is he trying to start a war or something? Wait, what is that?
There's something in the distance. It's huge!
I turned toward the sea with gigantic wheels stretching toward the sky. Something red is writhing around the bizarre structure, trying to engulf the town below it. It's red fog. Ikuno-san adjusts the monitor that had just been displaying General Teddy's laughing face to show us the enormous structure up ahead. I noticed Yukari-san and Ken-kun both tense up when they catch sight of it.
No way. This is just like...
Tartarus.
Searching data for Tartarus result found. A labyrinth that only appears during the dark hour and a breeding ground for shadows. It was also the place where a powerful being was going to descend upon the world to bring about destruction. The document in my hands have a page dedicated to it as well. What I read there confounds me. 3 years ago, when Mitsuru-san and her companion were in high school, something happened there. All I can gather is that they fought desperately in a tower called Tartarus that resembles the one outside. As the red fog grew thicker, the building that Ken-kun and Yukari-san referred to as Tartarus began to disappear from our view.
I'm sorry to do this, but I have to withdraw before we're shot down.
But we've come so far!
If they fire another one at us, I won't be able to dodge again. Even if it's only a firework, a direct hit can still bring us down.
Hold on, Kikuno-san. Can you drop low enough somewhere so we can get out?
There's no way. If we land, we'll be sitting ducks.
No, once we're out, you get out of here. You don't need to land.
What are you saying?
Please, do it! Don't worry. Remember, General Teddy asked us to come on foot. We'll manage somehow.
Understood. I'm looking for a landing site. There appears to be a large shopping center nearby.
While dodging explosion from missiles flying mercilessly toward us, the helicopter nosedive, flinging us toward the ground as we move closer to Inaba.
Labra-san, please take this. It may be of use. It contains the data that was taken from the Ergonomics Research Laboratory's top-secret files. The creator's name is Shuji Ikutsuki.
Yuji Ikutsuki. The name was also in documents that Kikuno-san had given me. He betrayed Mitsuru-san at the last moment 3 years ago and revealed himself as an enemy. Ever since the death of Koetsu Kirijo, the patriarchs of the Kirijo family 2 generations ago, this man took the lead in all the dangerous events relating to the Shadows. That is how dangerous this man is. But the document also did say that Ikutsuki took his own life.
The file name was Project Puppet Master. I'm not entirely sure if that's a code or a description of the project.
Puppet Master? Could that be something to do with me and Aigis?
I was only able to decrypt a portion of it, but it seems to be data on an experiment involving a plume of dusk.
An experiment with a plume of dusk. So, why are you giving this to me?
It may assist you in determining the enemy's identity. Actually, I found traces of an unauthorized attempt to access this file from outside of the Ergo Research Network. I investigated this and found that the requests made to break in originated from this vicinity, likely from within Inaba itself.
Huh? So someone in Inaba knew about that research before all this started and was looking for it?
Kikuno-san nodded silently. Of all the files on the quarantine server to go after, if this is one specifically targeted, then the hacker must at least have known of its presence there. The cyber attack wasn't done by some ordinary hacker who broke into the server and was looking around out of curiosity, which means that the hacker is probably either the culprit himself or someone connected to them.
The firewall prevented the intruder from accessing the file, but the attempted hacker didn't even try to cover their tracks.
What? Who would do this?
Hacker didn't even attempt to cover their access to the server. If that means they want someone to know about the existence of this file, even if they fail to access it, that doesn't make much sense. Putting aside whether doubts we have, Yukino-san continue
It
on.
was only in fragments, but the name Sho Minazuki appears many times in those files.
Who is he?
Sho Minazuki. I don't know the name. Could that person be the culprit? At the very least, there's no mistake that this person is deeply related to this case.
I'll contact you once we crack the encryption, but in case it becomes difficult to transfer the data to you, I'll give you a copy.
Then I'll download that data into myself and take a look at the parts that you managed to decrypt.
That would be for the best.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yukino-san hands me a memory card. I insert it into my memory slot and save the data on it into my internal memory. Just as Yukino-san says, most of experiment records one file remain that cannot be read. Project Puppet Master. What's in that file?
We'll be over at Junes Shopping Center at...
Hold on! Over there! Isn't there someone on the rooftop? We all peer into the distance. Beyond the heads of the red fog is Inaba's largest shopping center. On search of field that the players belong to a chain named Junes. A blurry figure can vaguely be seen on the roof. Yukun? For a moment, I think of someone I know well, but the height and physique of the shape on the roof doesn't resemble anyone I know. Ken raise a pair of binoculars and attempt to make out the figure's face. Kutsuki.
That's impossible!
Huh? What's wrong?
It's... Ikutsuki.
Huh? No way!
Kutsuki. The name left me at a loss for words. Perhaps he is mistaken. I open the side door of the helicopter and a strong gust of wind blows in. I ignore the wind and lean out to get a better look at the person on the roof. The helicopter is suddenly attacked from an unexpected direction, and the vehicle sways alarmingly. That wasn't another missile. When I look again, I see another shape standing near the figure on the rooftop. I knew it.
We're under attack! By a persona!
It doesn't make sense. According to the record, Tsuji Katsuki was never able to use a persona. Is that man on the roof truly this Katsuki person?
The enemy's preparing for another attack.
Incoming!
Before I can raise an objection, Yukari-san fixes her eyes on the enemy and draws her evoker. As expected from someone who had been in actual combat for a whole year, she quickly makes a decision.
Persona!
Yukari-san finger flags around the trigger of her evoker, but in the instant before she pulls it, Yukari-san persona appears, creating a whirlwind around the helicopter that repels the shadow attacking us.
What? I didn't even use my evoker yet.
Being Yukari-san so bewildered sends a chill down my spine. Being able to summon a persona without the necessary tool to aid in summoning? Mitsuru-san and Hiki-san report a similar unpleasant experience when inside the TV world. But this isn't inside the TV world. As outlandish and threatening as the situation is, there's no doubt that we're in the real world. Gentle steady words come back to me.
I'll make myself clear so that no one misunderstands. This will not be taking place within the TV world. It will, in fact, take place in the reality which you occupy. Enjoy it while you can.
Tell me, this folk that's imposing the town is the same folk on the other side of the TV?
This is... What was that?
New voice suddenly reached my ears. Who was that? I look around in bewilderment. Did anyone actually talk? Am I hearing things? Ken-kun's shot breaks my concentration.
Yukari-san, he's winding up for another one! We're getting off, Koromaru!
Yukari-san still looked confused, but Kenku noticed something and unbuckled his steel belt with his spear at the ready. This time, the helicopter has descended close enough to the roof of Junes. People and dogs can easily jump down. Koromaru-san growls and another persona appear. At the same time, Kenkun leaps out of the cabin, stabbing at the enemy persona closing in on us. Koromaru-san, persona, and Kenkun spear both hit the attacking enemy at the same time, and Kenkun drops to the roof unharmed.
It seems you're always taking on the responsibility of saving others, Yukari-san.
Seriously, it's like, again, really?
How could you not hit her?
But I'll take this one. After all, I save the world on a weekly basis.
Koromaru-san and Yukari-san drop out of the helicopter and nimbly land on the roof. Amazing! Their combat abilities are equal to those of weapons like Mi or Aegis. Even though they are a secondary member of the Shadow Operative, used only in time of emergency, it seems as if they've been on the team this entire time. Quickly ready my axe and follow them.
Yukari-san, everyone, please, save Lady Mitsuru.
The story changed a little bit. We should actually met